This is the practice video for Allegro, and after you've had a chance to look at the music and figure out which notes you need to play, go over these things that are included in the video. The first thing we talk about is staccato. What is it and how do we play it? The next thing we go over is legato. Again, what is it and how do we play it? Finally, we're going to go over measure 12 going into measure 13 because some special things happen there. There's a ritardando marked in measure 12, and then we go to an a tempo in measure 13. So we'll talk about in this video what those mean and how we do them. Finally, the video wraps up with a video of the whole piece. So it gives you a chance to see what it looks like when it's played and hear what it sounds like when it's played. So get ready for the review of how to set up your violin, your left hand, and your bow hold, and then you're going to warm up with an A major scale before we start looking at these specific things to practice.
Make sure you're holding your violin properly. Find the end button, put it up against your neck and over your shoulder, and then hug your violin with your shoulder and your chin. Stand up nice and tall. Set up your left hand properly. Hold the neck of the violin between the knuckle above the base of your first finger and the pad of your thumb. Tap, tap, tap the pad of your thumb and hover your fingers over the strings and over their tapes. Your wrist should have no bends. Set up your bow hold. Put the tip of your thumb up against the stick next to the frog and bend your thumb knuckle, and then match up the lines of the middle and ring finger on the other side of the stick. Put your other two fingers into place. The first finger should be touching the stick in between your two knuckles, and your pinky should be curved and on top as you slowly rotate the hair down onto the string.
We're going to practice the A major scale first by looking at the string finger chart. So as we play the scale, follow the laser pointer from note to note and notice the intervals in between each note. Whole steps are not touching, half steps are touching. So I am going to turn on the metronome. You're hearing quarter notes, and I am going to play half notes. That's 2 clicks per note. Get your violin set up, get your left hand set up, hover your fingers over the strings and over their tapes. Make sure your fingers are going to land on the tapes when they go down onto the fingerboard. Set up your bow hold and rotate the bow down onto the A string. Your pinky should be engaged, curved, and on top of the stick. 1, 2, ready, play. In this piece, we see dots above the note head or below the note head, depending on which way the stem is facing. And these dots indicate a bowing articulation called staccato. Staccato is Italian for stopped. And what we do as violinists is we stop our bow at the end of the note to make it staccato. And the way we do this is by adding pressure with our first finger on the bow stick. You just saw a video of staccato being played, so now we're going to try it while looking at the notation. So I'm going to turn the metronome on to keep us steady. Set up your violin, set up your left hand, and then set up your bow hold, and then rotate your bow down onto the string at the lower tape. And before we even move our bow, I want you to press down with your first finger on the bow stick so that the stick goes toward the hair. And that is the beginning of a staccato stroke. And it ends with a stop. So on the E string, 1, 2, ready, play. In line 3 of this piece, we see a different bowing articulation indicated, and those are tenuto marks. They're lines above the note head or below the note head, depending on which direction the stem is facing. And these lines mean tenuto, or smooth, like you were putting frosting on a cake and you don't want any sort of bumps. And that's the motion that we use with our bow arm to play tenuto. Okay, you just saw a video of tenuto, or smooth notes being played. And for line 3 of this piece, we need notes that are smooth, or tenuto. So set up your left hand and your violin. I'm going to turn the metronome on. Set up your bow hold. Find the E string as you rotate your bow down onto the string. Smooth. 1, 2, ready, play. The last thing we're going to talk about is the form of the piece. And if you look at your music, you'll notice that the first line and the second line and the fourth line are all the same. Line 3 is different. So as you play the whole piece, keep this in mind. You're going to play the same things in line 1, line 2. Line 3 will be the different smooth tenuto line, and then line 4 brings you back to the beginning.